racism around. I mean, I haven't experienced any discrimination. I would say on a significant scale in a while on campus since I've been here, but it's everywhere. I'm talking about in the classroom. You got people that won't even sit next to you. They move out your way. You will have a whole the class be full. You in the section by yourself, and people still want to sit next to you.
I definitely think that it's still present. I haven't experienced it like directly, but it's still in our society. So I would assume that it's still would just be gone.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think racism is pretty present at MSU. I mean, especially with international students. I mean, you hear some shit, but I mean, racism's like everywhere though. Like, I don't think it's just gonna be gone in certain areas no matter where you go.
Yeah.
I feel like professors shouldn't have to address it to make other students, do like a practice of moral of just being, just positive to other races or other groups of people. But I know I have other classes like IH207 I'm taking right now, and we talk about a lot of discriminatory subjects and things that went on in history. But they're teaching it to us if we don't make the right decision, to implement like the right way to do things. That's typically on the student. I wouldn't say it's the teachers or the professors before.
I mean, to be fair, the students who are saying some stuff, like, they were probably raised in an environment where that was like okay, like they were taught to do that. So I mean, I think faculty should play a bigger role in educating and just getting everyone on the same page about how you just got to be like conscientious of how people do that.
I think it should have been taught before college by like teachers.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can make that like a required course, but I definitely think it should be an option.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of like the IH courses.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking of. With,
No, I think it's definitely up to the students at this point in everyone's lives, especially. Racism is something like, if you haven't already been told, then it's kind of up to you to, have your opinion on it or address it.
I think racism has to do with like how people were raised, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree
more
with
so
that.
than anything.
Like what
it's
their
kind of hard to
parents
teach
taught them.
anybody stuff that
Especially
to do
if
in
they
their
already
own
have
life.
it like ingrained in them. It's like you can't just like change.
It just comes down to your
it.
background, your ethics.
I think it's important for them to like bring awareness, because I know like definitely the IHA classes, having those gives more like a new perspective to the students, so that will help. But I don't think it's like their main responsibility. It's definitely an individual responsibility too.
I feel like, they should definitely make it, aware to most students, because there's a lot of like underground racism kind of that goes on that a lot of people don't even know about, And, coming from a different perspective, like a different race, if you're not black, you really won't see it. So I feel like, it should definitely just be made more aware to most of the students. So I feel like everyone should definitely, say something, play a role.
Yeah, I almost kind of feel like when you go to college in general, you just become more aware of different things that go on in the world, and that should definitely be one of the things that should be required for, or at least addressed in some classes.
Well, all of us are from Detroit, but back home, the most racist things like we encountered was the police. That's like the number one thing we see firsthand. Like just being a black male driving, you getting pulled over at DWB, you ain't do nothing, but you just black and driving, and that's everywhere in Detroit.
And the crazy part about that is, in my opinion, I feel like it doesn't even tie down to racism to a certain extent. It's just like inequality as a whole, because you will have like black cops pulling up on black kids and pulling them over on the same page, just harassing them for no reason. So, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes placed on, the Detroit environment, and a lot of criticism. But in the same sense, if that's what you bred from, it's like you're a representation of home. You know what I mean? It's like I don't represent that. I feel like you should just treat everybody equal and just play your role to society how you need to, and just don't have an ulterior motive. Just chill.
really in Detroit, it's really not so much. I feel like I was undermining the effects of racism and how it could be on cotton in that shoe when I was in the city because it's mostly, it's black people.
Yeah,
So you're not even really worried about racism. People told me about racism up here, and I'm like, I mean, it can't be that bad. Like, all right, yeah, whatever. But we so used to being around, it's an urban neighborhood. We're not used to being around just, such a diversified campus with all these new people. We got different races and different countries and different states. So now you come up here and you really get to see it. You exposed to something different. You can see it like, all right, dang. You know what I'm saying? I can see I'm getting treated differently than everybody else. It's not like the city when everybody, it's more real in the city. It's just, really in Detroit, you're not even really worried about racism. You're just worried about surviving.
Like, where you're from in South Haven, would you say it's like generally pretty diverse, or is it kind of more one way?
Yeah, it's pretty diverse. There's the majority of the population isn't African American people, but there are a great deal of African Americans. It's pretty diverse, I'd say, as far as not only just black and whites, but all races. There's a lot of Hispanics in that area, white and black. So, yeah, I think it's a lot like here, because like here it's really diverse. There's a lot of like Asians, African Americans, whites. There's a bunch of different races here. So
yeah,
I think it's kind of like that back home, honestly. Like growing up, I was always introduced to a wide variety of races. So I fit right in. I felt like I fit right in here. It wasn't much different, just a lot bigger here.
Yeah.
Where you had someone be racist towards you or discriminate?
I've had a few times where, excuse my language, but I'll be walking up Grand River and I'll have somebody just ride past like, fuck you, nigga. And, that's just like, why?
Why? For real?
It would make me feel like, just to say that. So,
yeah.
That's just crazy. Like, I had that happen a lot of times.
Dang.
So I feel like I just had racist encounters with the police up here more so than anything. And long story short, the police situation started to get out of hand after a while, you know what I mean? Because we be riding in the same car. Just rolling down, and then that's, we get pulled up. They could say we ran a stop sign or
something we did.
Something, well we didn't do. You know what I mean? But in the same sense, you live and you learn from it. It is what it is.
Really, it's even outside of the cops. Like, they got frats all around and stuff, and sororities and stuff. Like, those are one of the most. I feel like that's where the real segregation comes in strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I remember on Halloween walking down Grand River. It's like they won't let you know what I'm saying? They not letting nobody in, especially if you black. They asking us to get off. Like, man, no bad, no offense.
Right.
Guy walk up to me, putting his shoulder on me, acting like he cool. Yeah, bro, I just wanted to ask you, can you just go across the street? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
us in particular, though, out of every
this happened for real?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Past Halloween.
Where was I at?
Where you know?
We was right over there.
What?
Like,
That's crazy.
On Abbott and
Abbott just past Bertram.
One
No fronts and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Just another one I came up with. Do you think that, like, growing up somewhere that's a lot like here, do you think that makes it easier for you to, like, get along with people maybe compared to other people who are kind of naive about maybe, like...
Yeah, a lot of people are, maybe they might not be used to, being in such a diverse area. Me, I just like I said earlier, I fit right in, so I feel like it was really easy for me to just make friends, and I was really used to this, so it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. But other people might be ignorant to the fact that there are, other people, just like them. Mm-hmm. There are different races that go to the same school, but I feel like it's just good for everybody. It's good to be exposed to different races and other human beings.
True.